Hi. Okay. So this video is going to be about my take or what I got from the movie Inside Out. Um, I was it was suggested that I watch this movie Inside Out, and it's actually on Disney Plus. So I watched it maybe a few years ago. Well, not all the way through, but I did watch it about, I'm gonna say like a few years ago. I stopped on a certain part, um, because I was just like, what part did I stop on? And I'm trying to remember the first, time that I watched it. I think I probably stopped on a part where she was in school. Riley, the little girl, the main character. Well, it's her head, that they in a little girl named Riley, and I believe I stopped on a part, well, stopped watching it when she was in school, introducing herself to her new classmates, and then she started to cry and stuff like that. I think I cut her off then because maybe I was just like, oh, I think I probably got emotional in that part. And this was a few years ago. So then when I was suggested to watch it, again, or watch the movie, so I was like, all right, let me watch it through. So I've been trying to watch this movie for about a week and a half now. So I finally finished it yesterday. And I actually played it today because I wanted to take some notes. Because while I was watching it, I didn't take notes. And when I say I finally finished watching it, it's like throughout the days, like I try to, my goal is to watch the whole thing at one time, the whole movie at one time. But hey, things happen and, gotta get interrupted and this and that. Then I'm like, all right, I'll watch it a little later. Then when a little later comes, I don't watch it. So I'm just like, okay. So then when I trying to watch it, I gotta rewind it like about 3 or 4 minutes back so I can get in a mood or, already, just remember what's going on. And then somehow I end up stop watching it for whatever reason. So I'm like, oh, so still, when I finally watched this movie, I still didn't watch it all the way through. It was like bits and pieces for like the past week and a half. But I finally finished the whole thing, watched the whole thing again. Now all the way through, I had to wash it one, a little bit one day here, and then like 3 days later, wash a little bit more. Then the next day, wash a little bit more. But whatever. So, anyways, I played it this morning and I mean, it's on, but it's like one of them moments where, the movie's on TV and then like on and off, I would, look up and whatever. And, excuse me, I will look up and like, okay, yeah. So basically, I played it today to like take some notes. Again, yes, the movie has played in its entirety. It's like the last few minutes like of the movie right now when she's Riley is playing hockey with her team. And yeah, but anyways, but the movie Inside Out, it's a pretty good movie, with emotions and feelings. And they have another one, a part two, coming out, I believe, next month. Yeah, in June. Forgot the specific date, but Inside Out 2 is coming out next month. So, this movie, sorry, I'm not scratching my goodness. I did put Vaseline on. I don't know why I'm scratching. Okay, so basically, I took some notes, and I'm quite sure I didn't take all the notes, but I wrote some stuff down so I won't forget. And again, these videos is really for me. But again, if this can help other people in the future or presently, fine, cool. But this is my perspective, my views of things, and for my what's the word? Like black box for my like not really like a diary for this video because I'm not really, well, who knows? I might say some stuff, but this is like for me. But whoever watches this, cool. something for me to look back on, or something, videos for other people to look back on and be like, oh, she did say, she has said this before, or she did say this, or she whatever, whatever. So let me drink some coffee. A sip of coffee. Okay. So let's see. Okay, the notes that I took. So, of course, the little girl name is Riley, and the movie is like she moved from Minnesota to San Francisco, and she enjoys playing ice hockey. She was on her team when she was in Minnesota. She had friends, she was in Minnesota, like that's where she was born at, that's where she grew up at. And I'm assuming she stayed in the same house with her mom and dad. Her mom and dad are happily married, from what the movie portrays, a happily married, regular marriage couple, married couple, with one daughter, Riley, and I believe she's 12. So, and then Inside Out is like the emotions or feelings that inside of her head. It shows how, like, how can I say this? Like, Joy is like one of the main characters that's inside of her head. So it's like the feelings, like when Riley, I can't even freaking explain it. It's like how people, you got different emotions. It's joy, it's sadness, it's frustration, it's anger, it's grossness, like all these different emotions and feelings that is inside your head, or in a movie inside Riley's head, and that's like working together to make sure she functions or say things right, or just keep her stable in life, I guess. Yeah. So I got, yeah. So anyways, um the part where Riley was introducing herself to her new class in San Francisco, because mind you, she moved from Minnesota to San Francisco. Her first day of to at her new school, the teacher, asked her to stand up and like introduce herself to the whole class and yada yada yada. So she stood up and she started talking. Of course, she reminiscing about the good times. And this when Joy was like coming in, the emotion Joy. And all these different feelings are characters. They are single characters who got parts in her head. This is like a joy character, a sadness character, an. Angry character. So and then like it's like watch the movie. It's pretty good. Just watch the movie. And anyways, going back to the part when she was introducing herself to the classroom. So so of course, she started talking about where she was from, talking about Minnesota, and the teacher, like put her a little bit 2 cents in to like break the ice a little bit. Was like, oh well, I know Minnesota, it has a lot of snow and it's gonna be, and it's way colder than here in San Francisco, like the teacher like making like a little joke to lighten up, the Riley's feelings, because Tisha probably know, like, okay, she probably is like, oh goodness, my first day I got to stand up and speak. So the teacher was like trying to loosen her up some, and it worked. Riley, she was just smiling and laughed a little bit and started saying, yeah, Minnesota, yeah, it does get cold, and I was on a hockey team and real good, and my friend yada yada yada, and my mom and dad, we always used to go to this pond to go ice skating and I mean, play hockey and stuff like that. So she's like smiling and like reminiscing all this good times and joy that she had while she was in Minnesota. And then sadness come in the picture, like in her head. Sadness, like I think, touched one of a core memory, and it turned blue. Like I guess blue's supposed to be all sadness and dreary. So then the other people in her head, like the feelings, emotions, like, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, why is she looking all sad now? And then they turned back and saying that sadness had touched one of the core memories, which was a ball. Looked like a bowling ball, and it sounded like, like crystals and stuff, like a crystal ball. Uh, um, but anyways, so that projected Riley to get sad. So while she's talking about Minnesota, like again, sadness then touched the core memory, and Riley started getting sad while she was, talking about all the joyous and the fun times that she had while being in Minnesota. And then she got to realizing, like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to experience that anymore. Like San Francisco, y'all don't even have snow. Like y'all don't, like my friend, I miss my friend and stuff like that. And my team, like, oh my goodness, y'all probably don't even have no hockey team. She started thinking about all the sad stuff. Then she ended up crying. She ended up crying in class, standing up. So then her classmates was just looking at her. Well, they was already looking at her because she was, talking. But then, she like had her head down and was like getting a burst, and then she started crying. So then teacher was like, oh, okay, well, thank you for that, And teacher was like, well, moving can be, a bit hard, but it's okay, it'll be fine, Riley, So Riley was like, mm-hmm. And then she just sat down. And then so of course the teacher was like, okay, class, turn to books, whatever, the chapter, yada, yada, yada. So Riley at that point just felt like embarrassed and was just like, oh my goodness, like realizing like I just cried in front of everybody my first day. And like, I ain't gonna make no friends now. And I just left my hometown and this and that, she just started feeling so like, oh, like what the heck. So, and I think, like I said, when I act from that part of the movie, I, realized like, wow, you can, the feelings can switch just like that. And for my personal experience, this is going back to um, personal things that's happened or that is happening in my life with my children. It's like I can be thinking of good times with my children, like when they all together and we were all together and we taking pictures and family pictures and I'm cooking them dinner. We all sitting at the same table, including, my younger son Melvin. And I'm just be like, oh, the happiest, the good times I'm remembering us together, even going through pictures of us, and then when it's happy times. And then when I start thinking about like, oh, okay, well, that hasn't happened in years. And, I'm thinking about the situation, why they all separated. And I'm just like, man, and I get, it's like, oh, they damn dads. I just like get like frustrated and angry. Like I'm just like want to cuss they dads out. Like even now, that's why I'm just like I be trying to avoid the topic with them. But of course, me avoiding the topic and letting everything out like with they dads and stuff like that, that means I'm not, that means what's that? Suffocating my true feelings. They bottled up inside. That's why like in previous videos, I'm like, I need to release all of this because yes, I'm trying to avoid, like I haven't talking, well currently I'm talking to like professional people about what, my feelings, but it's been years, it's been years and it's still like a starting point. So I'm like, I do have to stop ignoring and pushing all my hurt and anger and frustration and just like, all these sad feelings and stuff like that. Depressed. Well, I ain't gonna say I was depressed because to me, depression is probably on a whole lot of different levels. But me, I can't say I when I think of people being depressed, and like I said, this is me, but I know depression is on all different levels. And I can't, and I mean, I can say that I probably been depressed, but me, my depression is probably like me, I'm talking about myself, was probably on like a lighter level because my perspective, again, this is my perspective. When I hear or see in movies what depression looks like, I'll be thinking people wearing all black and then just dreary and then don't want to go outside, got the windows closed, don't even take bath or showers, and they just like, and they losing weight, they like they just moping around, they seem hopeless, they pessimistic, and they just by themselves and like hermit mode and everything and don't clean up, like that's like my perspective of being depressed. So I mean, like I said, I know it's probably all different levels, but when I see depression, that's how I see it. Like a person who just like windows closed, don't want to go outside, don't want to interact with nobody, don't wash their ass, don't brush their teeth, the house a mess, just like staying in a bed, drooping around, like like yeah, so like sad and just crying and so that's how I see it. Now, have I been like that? Absolutely not. That's why I'm like, I haven't been depressed. Again, if I have, it would be probably like on a lighter level. I mean, yeah, 1 or 2 days, like I'm probably be like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything, or I just want to stay in the bed. But I do end up brushing my teeth. I do still eat. And then like the next day, I take showers and I take baths. So being depressed, if somebody say, hey, have you ever been depressed? I'm gonna be like, no, because the way I see depression is like on a deeper level, like that, ugh, like just like pessimistic kind of a thing. Now, me, I would say I like I said, time is in my name. I was about to say I don't have time to be depressed, but time is a word that is in my name. But I'm gonna say I don't have space to be depressed because I still have other children that I have to be strong for, though, that I have to come through for. I don't just because my younger son, his dad got custody of him because his dad lied on me. Yeah, that hurtful and embarrassment and just like frustration and mad and anger and pissed off. Like yeah, I was going through a stage when just emotional and crying and everything like that, but I still got up, washed my ass, brushed my teeth. Um, you know, what else? Cleaned up behind myself. I'd ate probably not as much as I was used to eating, but I still had to nourish my body. I didn't have the windows closed. I more so had the windows open. I'm the type of person like, hey, I'll be having the windows open when it's thunderstorming and when it's nighttime. Like I like now that's just me. Like I like the windows open, like the blinds open, I should say. And the windows open too at times, depending on the season to get some breeze in instead of using the AC. Just get that nice breeze. And as I say it, breeze coming in. Hi. And air is in my name, AIR. So hi, air. Look, is making my paper, flip to the side. So I do have the window open now. And it's like a cloudy day. It's not raining, but it's like a cloudy day. But anyway, and I got a tree right in front of the window. It's not like blocking the whole view, but it's there. Hi, tree. Okay, but anyways, let me get back to what I was saying. So, I will honestly say I have not been depressed because I don't have that space to be depressed. I don't want to be depressed. It's like no. And for those people who have been depressed throughout their lives and years, I'm glad that y'all not depressed now, but if y'all are going through it, please, I know it helps if you talk to somebody. And even with me, I ain't even really had nobody to talk about my feelings, about like people knew what I was going through, but then you still the same people, I guess they didn't know how to approach me, approach the subject. I can't even talk, approach me with the subject, because me and my immediate family, we don't be talking about things like this, like, oh yeah, you don't have custody of your child and stuff like that, and the dad lied to get the custody of your autistic son, and he's 3 years old, and he lied on you and yada yada yada. So now you back home with mom, like they knew what was going on, but it was just like, I get it. How do you come at me with that? And like I'm about to start crying. I'm like, how do you say D, like, because it's like they probably thinking like, what can I do to help? But at the same time, like nobody really did help. But it's like I gotta look at it in all kinds of ways. Like I don't know, like that part. And see, this is the stuff that I've been avoiding because this topic is so like emotional, it's so touching to me. And then it's like that time in my life, this is like 2018, the last time that I seen my son, the last time that his brothers seen him. And like I said, it's just like I can see if I did something like if them lies and stuff was true, and then I'm just like,
Sorry, I don't know that.
and see, look now, this lady, I don't know, on this computer, on this laptop, like I said, everything is being tapped and watched anyway. But I'm like, during that time, oh my goodness, it was just like going back to live with my mom. I couldn't work, like I done lost my job because I couldn't focus at my job. And it was like some easy ass stuff that I was doing at my job. It wasn't nothing hard. Freaking separating colors, like color envelopes, red, blue, green, put them in a pile, like separate the colors. All the reds go right here, all the blues, all the yellows, all the whites, all the tans. It was just like, okay, you know your colors, separate. It was like a tray of mail, like them long flat trays of USPS mail, and you just separate the colors and then bundle them up by 50s. Like that's not rocket scientists. And this was like a government job, government job. So it was nothing hard. Had my headphones on, had my desk, my own cubicle. If I wasn't doing that, I was like date stamping letters, and date stamping is just like the reader mail. Anybody who wrote things, and mine, you was just like senior citizens, because this is dealing with Medicaid and Medicare stuff. Get letters from all across the world, the United States, and plus some other countries, dealing with Part D, Part A, Part C, whatever, all that kind of stuff. So date stamping, the reader mail, people who actually wrote, letters in, have questions or comments about something, sit at the machine, put the letter in, and a date stamp the date that it came in, like that current day. Oh, today, Tuesday, yada, yada, yada. Put the letter in a date stamp machine, and things say, doop, put another piece down, put a new one in, doop, another paper, doop, another letter, doop, another, just date stamping. And then that get bundled up in 50s, and I'm just like, the work wasn't hard. It wasn't complicated. You know what I mean? And I couldn't even focus in doing that. I kept getting up from my desk, crying and crying and crying. And the main reason is I kept crying because I'm thinking about my son. I'm just like, he's probably like, where's my mommy? Where's the next time I'm gonna see my mom? Just thinking about him because I know him. I know my son. I know my son before anybody else know my children. Like they was in me. I carried them for 9, 10 months, or however long you be pregnant for. I'm the one who was talking to them every day. They heard my heartbeat. I felt theirs. Like I'm like so connected to my children. So me sitting at my desk and not seeing them for a couple of days, I'm just like, oh my god! And I couldn't even contact him because a petition, what's that? A protection order was out against me. I could have no contact with him or his dad. I'm just like, what the? Man, that was a that was a testing time. Them 2 weeks, them 2 weeks for that protection order, when there was like no contact with the dad or the child or whatever. Like I couldn't do that. I couldn't text. I couldn't whatever. That was like, man. That was a trying testing time for them whole 2 freaking weeks. And I'm just like, until that court date come for the protection order to see have it longer or be dismissed or ended or whatever. So get to the damn court date, in 2 weeks or whatever, and here go the damn judge talking about he gonna grant it for a full year, something because I didn't contact CPS and like I ain't even know they contacted me. And I'm like, my child, the police came at my door, taking my son like the next day. Like, what the heck? He's fine. The police gonna come to my house. Man, I don't know. Just watch previous videos. I'm not even going to talk about go back to relive that. What? No, but just know that whole thing was a freaking lie that his dad done made up, and or whoever his team is done wrote on the damn petition, because I sure enough not his dad handwriting. His somebody else wrote what happened when they wasn't even there. It was just like, what's the problem? Like, why would you do that? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm more so angry, like, at his effing dad. That's what I'm like. When I can't even see, but this is what I have to do. I have to talk about it, but I don't because and yes, we done been in the courtrooms, and every time we go to court, the judge be siding with the dad, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe because he got a lawyer, he been had a lawyer this whole time, and I'm going there by myself. Because I'm just like, I know my son. I don't want nobody to no don't nobody need to talk for me when it comes to my children. Like, I know what a stranger going to say about my child. Like, I know my child. I don't need no lawyer to defend me for what? I didn't do anything. I don't need no defending. Like, and then here goes his lawyer just be rambling on talking about some bullshit. And I'm just like, she's not even really a good lawyer. But I'm just like, oh, maybe they probably looking at it like the dad probably looking at it like, oh, well, sister mom don't have a lawyer. We can just get some bullshit ass lawyer because whatever lawyer we get, the judge just gonna side with us because we got a lawyer. And that's how the fucking system works. I'm like, that judge know damn well and this motherfucker was lying. And then his bitch that's with him, like, she's like egging him on, like, what the fuck, girl, you cannot be me. You cannot be me. Like, what do you have against me? What did I do to y'all? That's why I'm just like, man, I swear, I kid you not. Like, I'm like, if people would just sit down and talk to me, like, I'm so curious. When I say I'm curious about what do y'all have against me, let me know what did I do to y'all. I have to have done something. Please refresh my memory, because I'll be thinking like, what did I do to this nigga? What did I do to his bitch? Like, what did I say? I always been nice to them, respectful to his family. Like, what did I do to these people? They even used to compliment me on how good of a mother I am to my sons. Like, and then turn around and lie and be like, oh yeah, she did this. What? And then still going along with it. Like, y'all hurting my sons. And like I said, my son, he haven't seen his brothers. He got a little sister that just turned 3 who he hasn't even physically seen. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers stay focused on me, on my black ass. Y'all so hard trying to hurt me, but y'all hurting my children more. They innocent. Fuck it. I'm innocent. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on now. That's why I'm just like, ooh, what I know. That's why I'm like, I've been positive. When I was going through all this 2018, 19, all that 2020, I'm like, I know it was like a bigger and brighter picture. Like, I stayed, optimistic. I'm like, I know it's got to be something. Me and my children are special, because I'm like, y'all just confirming that me and my children are special, because y'all so pressed to keep us apart. So I'm like, man, and what I already seen the future of me and my children together traveling all of my children, all of us is traveling with, and then people who's with us are going to be traveling too. Like, and I'm talking about free, traveling the world for free. I done seen how this world is going to be. Like, I already done seen it years ago before this incident even happened. I'm talking about when I was a little freaking girl, I done seen some stuff. So I'm like, okay, like something bigger and better is coming, and I know darkness got to come before the storm, or you know how they say, got to get worse before it gets better. So I'm thinking about all this shit when I'm going through it, but I still really haven't been seeing like the bigger picture where I was in it. You know, I'm just like, oh, I know this happening for a reason. I know, but I wasn't really seeing the reason while I was in it. What how they said while you in the storm. I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm in the storm, but I do see a rainbow, but I'm still in the storm, but the rainbow is right there. So yeah, it's brighter days, brightness to the future. But like I don't know, I can't explain it. But I'm for real. I'm just like, people, what did I do to you? Why are you still going on with this lie? That's why I'm like, I'm for real. Like like, tell the truth. The truth will set y'all motherfuckers free. Tell the truth. And like I said, y'all motherfuckers, I ain't gonna say that was like my weakness. You know how they say don't let people know like your biggest fear or your weakness, because they'll play that and use it against you. Like, I ain't telling nobody, oh, my weakness is this, my kryptonite is this, and yeah, it's you. No. But I guess people probably figured it out a little bit about my children. They're like, oh, she is a good ass mother. She's a good ass person. She's respectable. She's a caring mother. Every time we see her around her kids, she's just so happy. The kids is happy. The kids is respectable. Like, I get compliments with my sons. We be out in public. Well, we used to. All of us was together. You know, we be out in public, going to stores or going to restaurants. My sons, I don't have to ask my sons to do anything. Like, they know how to act in public. Now, maybe when we in the house, they probably argue and this and that or whatever. But while we out in public, like, they will hold doors open for people, senior citizens, people, just whatever, like regular people. We going through the door, somebody coming up, they will hold the door open for them. And people, random people, and this is throughout years, people will come up to me and be like, those that was like, your sons are so respectable, like your sons are so nice, or I can tell you raised your sons right. And that, like, people come up to me just out the blue, like complimenting me, and like thanking me, or like giving compliments to my children. And I'm just like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm like, I ain't really teaching them nothing, but I guess I am. My mind, I'm just like, I guess I am teaching them something, but I'm not. I don't teach them, oh, you hold the door open for somebody, oh, you do this. Like, no, they just know, because that's how they was in my womb. They just know. And I recently seen a video, um about somebody talking about that, like and like, I knew about this for years. Like, whatever the mother is feeling or going through while they pregnant, the baby is feeling it too. That's why they be telling women, when you pregnant, like, stay calm, don't be panicking, don't even eat certain foods, because the baby will be affected by it. So throughout my pregnancy, it's like, I stayed positive even through the shit I was going through on the outside. I spoke encouraging words to all of my children while they was inside of me, even through the bullshit what I was going through in the outside world. Like, they probably felt it, but at the same time, it was just, I transmuted it. Even with me going through the bullshit, I transmuted it, because again, I had other children who was already born that I had to be there for. I'm not going to let a motherfucker that I'm pregnant with, make my pregnancy fucked up. I mean, like, in a physical kind of a way. You know what I mean? Like, I really can't explain it, but believe me, I had some fucked up pregnancies with the dad, but my children and my pregnancy was healthy. If that makes sense. Like, I ain't have no health issues. My children ain't have no health issues. But the situations where I was going through while I was pregnant was an effed up situation. But still, my children, you know, I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, so I'm just like, sorry, I gotta blow my nose. So push mute or something. We'll skip this part. Give me like 3 seconds to blow my nose, and I don't like the sound, so I only like. Okay, I'm about to blow my nose. Sorry. Okay, sorry, because I don't even like hearing that for other people. So I know y'all don't want to hear it with me. But sorry, drinking some coffee. So, but yeah, so my children, and and this is about hereditary with autism. And mind you, I believe I'm autistic. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I believe that I'm autistic, and I be hearing stories like recent stories within the past year of adults just now being diagnosed with autism. And I'm like, what the rap? I'm autistic. But I remember, because my daughter now, she's autistic, and my son Melvin, he's autistic. So that's why I be saying I birthed twins in 2 different years. Because I'm like, what are the odds of both of my children? My last two children, I ain't gonna say them my last children, but the last two children that I done had, is turned out to be having autism. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, but when we went to Kennedy Krieger, and then they were saying, yeah, it was something dealing with hereditary and this and that. I was kind of like not in denial, but I was more so because I'm like, yeah, that is a possibility. But I'm just like, I got three other sons before Melvin, and they don't have autism. So, by anything, it would have been like, another child before him, or just something probably with autism. But then I'm looking at his dad, and now, man, his dad probably got, I don't know what his dad done got, some kind of a mental disability or something, the way he's acting. Duh, duh. Remind me of that goofy dad, the man, when I be picturing his dad, he remind me of Goofy. And mind you, Goofy was taking care of his son, but Goofy was like I ain't gonna say dumbest dog, but he was just like so fucking goofy. Like, what are you doing? Like, you just so and then also, what's that big baby name? It was a character, a cartoon character who, I don't, was he a duck? But he had on a diaper. I'm picturing him. I'm just picturing his big body with a diaper on. I can't even see his face, but he had, I think, the baby like thing around his head, like a hat that tie up on the bottom. That tie up on the bottom, and he wore a big diaper because he was like this big baby. So that's why I see his dad as Melvin's dad, and then this big baby was a little off, was a little bit slow, like do do do. That's my imitation, do do do. And that's, I'm just talking about my son's dad, and ain't talking about nobody else out there. So y'all think I'm talking about, making fun of do do do, some slow people. I'm not. I'm just making fun of Melvin Brown II. That's all I'm making fun of with his dumb ass, trifling ass, bitch ass. Um, but anyways, so that's how I picture him. Oh my goodness. So when they talking about, yeah, hereditary, at the time I'm like, well, I know his dad be doing some little off, like got me thinking a bit like, maybe, but it wasn't like, yeah, his dad is slow, at the time. But now I'm like, oh yeah, that mother effer is something going on with him, with his mental something, for him to be lying and then thinking that it's okay, like it's okay to hurt your child emotionally, mentally. Like, come on now. Like, no, that's not okay. Especially doing it purposely. Like, no, nigga, that's not right. Like I said, all y'all motherfuckers is man. That harvest season is here, and I know y'all feeling that shit. I know y'all feeling that shit. Whatever y'all reaped these past couple of years, that shit is being sown. Y'all niggas is feeling it. I know y'all are, and that's what y'all get, and y'all gonna be feeling it more. more, and more. Especially once I finally release all this shit. And I'm talking about finally release so much stuff. Oh my goodness. But like I said, um, what was I talking about? But yeah, but just the I know I was saying something like, yeah, y'all, I guess they done figured out like, oh yeah, her children is her, is her heart, um, you know, what the word I want to say is her triggerness, her trigger point, her trigger pain, her trigger love. Something. Her children. We gotta, in order to affect her, we gotta do something to her children. Well, let's take the children from her. Like that's what I guess motherfuckers figured out. Like, oh, in order to create some kind of mess or get some kind of reaction from her, we got to do something to her children. I mean, I know, far as taking separating them and whatever, whatever. So now y'all putting my innocent children in the mix of shit. Like, okay. And like I said, and it doesn't matter how old my children are. My children is still my children. My children are still my babies. They're still my fucking children. Yeah, all y'all motherfuckers who've been plotting and planning, who have done did this to me, just know, especially if y'all got other children or y'all got children of y'all own, okay, remember this. Remember what y'all did. Remember what y'all did to my children. And y'all got children too? Oh, okay. Okay. hmm. Moses, okay. And speaking of Moses, I'm thinking of like that Prince of Egypt story. You know how he was like the firstborn. He when he came to the Pharaoh. And matter of fact, recently I seen something on my YouTube feed when somebody was talking about like using your voice and stuff like that. And mind you, I'm like I always been like a shy mute person ever since I was a kid. So this is throughout middle school, throughout grade school, all of that. As an adult, when I'll be working, I'm like stick to myself. I don't be like in the in crowd because I know too many people, too many feelings and emotions and energies and she said, he said this and that or whatever. So I'm just like I just stay to myself. I probably have one or two people that I talk to that will, say I'm working. I probably have one or two people that I would talk to, but everybody be cool. Mind you, at every freaking job that I done had, every job that I done had, I got along with every freaking body because I'm like, what's the whole, why not? Like, what did y'all do to me? Like, what did y'all do to me? Y'all ain't do nothing. So why would I have a problem with you? And then if they did something to me, it's like probably something petty. And I'm just like, I mean, I'm talking about if, because I'm trying to think, did anybody do anything to me? I mean, no, and if they did, that shit probably just like rolled off. Like I probably ain't even realize until somebody pointed it out. Oh, such and such said this about you, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if it's not true, then I mean, who cares? Like I know what it is. I know what it ain't. Like, okay, would you come up telling me that this person said something about me? I'm not affected by that. Like that shit don't bother me. Whatever, if it's a lie, that shit gonna come right back around on them some kind of way. Like I'm not gonna entertain no drama. That kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like I ain't never had no drama or beef with anybody that I work with. Anybody at none of the jobs that I had. I ain't go to work and then was targeted by a female or a male and be like, oh, this bitch, if she say something to me today, I'ma beat her ass. Or this bitch, like, no, I didn't experience any of that. Now, mind you, maybe some people was probably having that energy towards me for whatever reason, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. And I'm like, what for? If they did, like, what did I do? Say hi to people, come in, good morning, hi y'all, hi, hi, hi. Like, so I'm talking about at every job that I had. And I'm trying to think back at so many jobs I've done had. So I'm scanning my mind right now. But I'm just like, I don't even being when I was a dancer, quote unquote, I guess a stripper, whatever name, proper name people want to give it. I ain't had no problem with none of the girls there. Like I say hi to everybody. Now, did these girls have problems with me? Some of them, yeah. Like, but for what? I wasn't money hungry. Like, man, that's gonna be a whole nother video. But just know that I ain't had no beef with none of the girls there. And then a male customer, had to point it out, like, these females don't like you in here. And I'm like, what do you mean they don't like me? Like, I ain't do nothing to them. Like, what are you talking about? And then this male customer pointed it out. He was just like, watch when you go on stage. Look how many females will go around and start talking to these niggas around the table. So they won't focus, so the guys won't focus on you dancing. Like you see all these guys, they just sitting by themselves, no females talking to them, they just chilling. But once you go on stage, watch all these females get up and start talking to these guys so they won't focus on you. The guys can be focused on the females talking to them. I'm like, okay, let me see that, and I didn't know that just been going on. Or I don't even know how long it was going on because I didn't care. I wasn't focusing on no guys. When I be on that stage, I looking out in the mirrors and look at myself, and I be in my mind. Well, first I be feeling that music, okay, feeling the songs that I be picking, man, it be some sensual songs, like that romantic, enticing, like that little, them songs that you do for your man with some candles and like some nice lingerie, like them the songs and like the outfits that I had. Yeah, I did have like a couple of stripper outfits, but most of the time I got my stuff from Fredericks of Hollywood, like that lingerie set, man, that satin robe. But anyways, so that's how I be looking at myself in the mirror and just be focusing on myself and the music and just like, hey, like everybody else seemed to disappear in the room anyway. I'm just dancing for myself, but thinking about the man that I was dating at the time. But anyway, so I'm like, so when the customer told me, like, yeah, next time you go on stage, do your set, pay attention to that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll check it out, whatever, peep game. So sure enough, I got on stage, my song, first song came on, and sure enough, them girls got up from where they were sitting at, like they were some damn roaches. They were scattering all over the room, getting a guy, like talking to a man. And I'm like, damn, so I was looking and I'm just seeing them, like going to the dudes and, different dudes, a dude sitting in this area, another dude over here, like they showing up and just got up, started talking to the dude. So I looked back at the guy who told me about it. I looked at him and he was just like, told, he gave the little like, told you. And I was just like, damn, it's like that. Like, I ain't even know. And I'm like, a little me. And I'm just like, listen, I just dance. I don't even know how to do nothing with that pole, with the stripper pole. Like, I be holding on to it, like moving and I guess like grinding. But I don't know how to climb no pole, how to spin around on it. Just the stripper pole. I ain't, let me emphasize stripper pole. I know how to do some other pole, but the stripper pole. I'm like, I wasn't climbing to the top and sliding down and hanging upside down and clapping my ass on the pole while I'm in the air. Like I didn't know how to do all that. Like, I ain't even really try because I'm just like, no, I'm just dancing. So I did, hold on to the pole and walk around and, grind on a little bit, stuff like that. And I was just dancing. So I'm just in my mind like, damn, are these females threatened by me? Like I don't even go and talk around to these niggas. Like after you're set, you supposed to, collect whatever money you get and then like walk around to the different people, to the different guys and see can you get a little more tips and stuff like that. And of course these guys want to fill on your ass and want to do all this and I'm just like, what the fuck? So in the beginning I was letting that happen. But after a while I'm like, I don't want no nigga touching all on me for a damn dollar, like rubbing on my ass cheeks for a dollar. Nigga, no. I'm not. When I get off this stage, I'm getting whatever money I got and sit my ass in the corner. Like I'm not walking around to no niggas. I'm good. So I had stopped that. Like maybe a couple of weeks before I stopped dancing there. I'm like, nah, I'm good with that. So, but anyways, I'm like, I'm I didn't think I was like no threat, you know. So then people, they would be complimenting me, like the guys, like they would come up to me like, damn, something special about you, something unique about you, like wow, like how long you been dancing for? And I'm like, well, I just started like a month ago, like a month ago. Like, wow, you just something about you, how you dance. So I'm just like, I'm dancing like an enticing kind of a person, like a tease. Like, yeah, nigga, you can watch, but you can't touch, that kind of a thing. So I guess these females felt my energy too, and they was watching me. So they probably was like, damn, she ain't even doing a pole, but damn, it's something about her too. So that's why I'm just like, what? I'm not doing that to nobody. But anyways, I don't even know how I got on that. I got on me dancing. What was I talking about? Different jobs. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm just like, what? Why y'all don't like me? So I'm like, even with my exes and they new girls, I'm like, why y'all don't like me? I wasn't giving y'all no problems in y'all relationship. I wasn't calling my baby daddy, quote unquote, my son's dad. I wasn't messing up y'all relationship. I don't do that. I don't want him. And at times I really ain't even want him from the start. So I'm like, why y'all like disliking me? So then I got thinking like, oh, these new females dislike me because they know that they nigga still wants to be with me. But then that got pushed to the back of my mind because I'm just like, nah, these niggas shouldn't want to be with me because they in a whole new nother relationship. And, me and the dude, we don't, we just co-parenting. Like he ain't flirting with me. I'm not flirting with him. We don't talk. We don't do nothing. So no, I know that can't be it. I know this nigga still don't want to be with me or whatever. So that can't be it. So I'm like, why these females don't like me? But then after a while, I'm like, maybe because, and it's probably, well, I want to say my first children's dad. I think that this bitch, his wife, I think she probably disliked me. My, we ain't have no discussion, this disgusting. Me and her, we ain't had no discussion about this, but I feel as though she don't like me because this nigga done proposed to me 3 times. The first time I said yeah because I was pregnant with our first son, and then that's a whole nother story. Like I done pushed the ring back towards him, was like, stop playing, I don't want it, yada yada. But these niggas they know that they don't. They try to avoid the embarrassment. So these niggas be like, oh, if I do it in front of a crowd of people, she would say, yeah, nigga, I was telling you no, even in front of a crowd of people, but you just kept pushing that box back to me, and I'm pushing it back to you. Like, no, I'm sliding it to you on the counter. Like, stop playing, leave the store. I'm working at CVS at the time. I'm at the register cashier. Nigga came in with his crew, his brother, his cousin, some other people. I got customers in line. And nigga, stood in line for like 5, 6 minutes. And I was like looking at him like, nigga, I can't bring you up. Like they know, because you don't supposed to ring up friends or family. So I'm like trying to egg him like, what are you doing in my line? Like, you don't supposed to be in my line. I'm looking at him like that, but he just like smiling and goofy and like, I'm like, what this nigga up to? So he finally, came to me, with the register or whatever. So I'm like, I can't ring you up. He was like, I ain't buying nothing. So I'm like, what do you want? Yeah, so I'm like, what in the world? So, I'm just like, okay, stop playing, you good. Pushed it back to him. I'm telling these niggas the truth. Like, no, I don't want to marry you. No, no, no. They kept pushing the box towards me. I'm just like, no, stop playing. He was like, come on, come on, come on. I'm just like, and then I just happened to look up, and I'm just looking at my line getting long. Because I was the only cashier up there. I'm looking at my line getting long. So then I had to call for a backup cashier. Then so that's why I was like, let me just get this nigga out, so I can get this line down. So now I was like, okay, fine, sure. And then, he put on my finger, and then got people behind us, they was probably like trying to see what was the hold up. So they all like standing off to the side looking. They was like, oh, so I was like, all right, bye, thank you. And then here go a customer. You ain't gonna come around the counter and give him no hug. You ain't gonna give him no kiss, this older lady. I'm just like, what? I gotta do all that? In my mind, like, I gotta do all that. So I was just like, and then by this time the other cashier had came. So I was like, "Ugh, let me go ahead and do this because this nigga ain't gonna leave if I don't, and whatever." So I just came around my, I didn't want to kiss him. Like I wasn't in like, just thinking about it. Okay, let me just move on. Blah blah blah. Ill, 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 ill. Mm-hmm. Ew. Oh my goodness. So, oh, young. Why did I even that whole kissing thing? Like that was not. Man, I got stories for this nigga when it comes to the kissing and his teeth and everything. Man, I got stories for this nigga, Jonathan Lamont Neal. Please, and you know him too. You know these stories of what I can say. But oh, young, this nigga was just fucking disgusting. I'm like, and then again, if I knew he was disgusting, why did I stay with him for a while? And that's the thing. I was telling him, no, 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 I don't want to be with you. No, no, no. But anyways, going back to this bitch, to his wife or whatever. So me and him, we had two kids at the time. Avon and AJ. So I'm quite sure he done told this girl, and then he done told me this when we was like 15, 16 years old. He done told me like, yeah, I'm his first love, and he always used to play that Avant song. This nigga is so fucking gay. Like I knew something was like a little with him. Like he portrayed to be all this big boss, this king. I'm a big boss. I'm nigga, you a pussy ass bitch. That's what the fuck you is. But and I always knew that. I'm talking about I realized that shit when I was pregnant with our second son. I realized that shit. That's when like the shit like I got like that light bulb that clicked in my motherfucking head. Like I kid you not. When I became pregnant with our second son AJ, that's when I started noticing his bitch ass tendencies. And then mind you, when I got pregnant with our second son, I told him I ain't even want to be with him. Like this is before I got pregnant, because I just wanted another child. I wanted another child. Even we only had one son. One child each. That was our first child together. First child ever. And then Avon, I don't know, he was like 4 years old. My oldest son, he was like 4 years old at the time, and he was just start talking to me like he was doing things on his own. Like I would still be like helping him put on his clothes and like doing. He was like, "Mommy, I got it. Mommy, I know how to do this. Mommy, I know how to brush my teeth. I don't need you to put toothpaste on." Like he was talking to me like, "Mommy, I got this." Like literally. So, like for real, for real. And I was just like, damn, oh, okay. So I stepped back and he did his thing. And I'm just like, after a while, I'm like, oh my goodness, my baby is growing up. Like, oh my goodness, yay, my baby. So that's when I was like, I want another child. Like, I want another child. I want a baby. So the guys that I wasn't talking to no guys like that, or I ain't even gonna say like that. I don't even think I was talking to really anybody. If I was, it was just like a phone call conversation, wasn't fucking with nobody or whatever. So I'm just like, well, I already got a child by this nigga, so why not let us just have another one? So then I approached him with it. I'm just like, hey, I would like another child, but I don't want to be with you. We don't got to be together. I just want another baby. So you're the only prospect. So what to do? I'm like, and for real, like you can ask this nigga, you can ask him. I was just like, I just want a baby. I don't want no relationship with you, whatever, whatever. He was like, well, I'm in a relationship, right? I got a girlfriend. And I was like, you can still be with her. I don't want to be with you. Did you get that? You can still be with her. I just want a baby. And he was just like, how that look? Which, of course, it made sense. of course it makes sense what he's saying. Like, how would that look if I'm cheating on you with her and then you end up being pregnant and then of course you're going to find out, when baby born or just something, and then, all these years and I'm gonna feel bad still being with her and knowing that yada yada. So I'm like, okay, that do make sense. That makes sense. I give you that. I don't want her to be hurting and this and that because I wouldn't want to go through that, being in a relationship with somebody, then the whole time, my boyfriend effing with his baby mother, and then she end up being pregnant, and then the nigga still fucking with me, not even telling me that like, and then I found out a year later, whole time 9 months, 10 months later, I'm just like, damn, you played me this for this long, and yada yada, like no. So I'm just like, I get that. So he's like, hey, if you want this baby, you got to be with me. And I'm just like, I don't want to. Well, that's the deal. If you want another baby with me, you got to be my girlfriend. We got to be a family. So I was like, all right, let me think about it. So I thought about it probably like 24 hours, 48 hours. And I got back to him. And I'm like, all right, man, yeah, cool. So boom, it happened. So there we go. And I already had a plan in my mind, like, all right, I gotta be with this nigga. But I'm like, I'm giving myself like 2 years. Like when this baby turned about 2 years old, that's it. Like I get it. The whole pregnancy, we gotta stay together because that was like a mutual agreement. Then I was like, I didn't want to just break up with him once the baby came out. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a year, at least a year. So that means that's 2 years right there, being pregnant and then having our baby for his birthday. Fine. And then I'm like, during that time, that's when I can like, get an exiting plan. But I was like, yeah, no more than 2 years. So that 2 year period, that's when it's going to be it. And sure enough, that's when it was it. When our son was like a little bit over two, our younger son, a little bit over two. And that's when I was just like, that's it. And mind you, this whole time I did not want to be with him. So I'm like I'm like in this relationship that I had to be stuck in because I wanted another baby. So AJ, our second son, was like the only, well, even now, he was the only, child that was playing, the only baby. You know how like go to doctor's offices or new doctors and they be like, yeah, how many kids you have, yada yada. They was like, well, was any of them playing? I was like, well, my second son was. He was the only one that was like, hey, I want a baby. I want a baby. And I was like, of course, the other ones, we wasn't using no protection. So was it playing? Yeah, yes and no. We knew the risks of not having protection, but we wasn't like planning on having a child, that kind of thing. But yeah, so getting back, what time is it? Oh, good. Okay, so it's going on 1 o'clock, was 12:50, and I've been on here for a little bit over an hour. So I'm about to probably end this interview. But anyway, so yeah, so my thing is, oh my goodness, with his bitch ass, he like I said, that was like a mutual contract that I made with him and made with myself. So cool. So during the time when I was pregnant with our second son with AJ, well, his name is um, Andrew Jonathan, so we call him AJ. But anyways, when I was pregnant with him, that's when I seen like his dad's bitch assness. Like I'm looking at him like, so I'm pregnant, with our son. Say we knew we having a son by now, so I'm probably like 4 or 5 months pregnant or something. So he would have niggas over at his house, like his older cousin and like some dudes from the neighborhood, and they would go down in the basement, play pool, listen to some music. So I would like go down there a little bit, and not AJ, Avon would go down there with his dad, all the dudes and stuff like that too. So I would go down there like to get Avon or whatever, to give him some drink or something. So then I was just no matter of fact, I ain't even go down the basement when they was down there. When they be in the living room area, I would go over like probably past the living room or go to the kitchen or something. So I would just be looking at my son's dad, the dude I'm pregnant with, and he be like standing around all these other dudes, that he invited inside the house. And all of them got like drinks in their hand, cups or drinks or liquor bottles, beer bottles, whatever in their hand. Mind you, I'm pregnant, so I'm not entertaining none of that stuff. And his brother there too, whatever. But I'm looking at my son's dad, and I'm just like seeing his energy of like this nigga trying to be fake cool, like he trying to act like a boss, and he the shortest nigga there, right? Not saying that short niggas, don't have no game or can't be boss niggas. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this nigga can't be. So he was betraying to be, and I just seen right through him. And I'm just like, ugh, like compared to like all these other dudes, and not saying that these other dudes was like worthy or anything too, because they wasn't. I'm just saying like his energy was trying to portray like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I got y'all niggas inside my house. We all drinking. I got my son. Like he was trying to portray an image like everything is cool, and I seen that shit. Like I read his energy. So like I said, he the shortest one there. He all taking sips with his cup, and I'm just in my mind like, oh, this nigga is a bama ass bitch. Like I'm literally saying that when I'm pregnant with my son, and I'm looking at this nigga, and I'm just like, oh. So I'm like, man, what did I do? What did I sign up for? And what did I sign up for? And there's so many different things that I'm just like, and even how he would like betray himself because I guess he felt like he was the shit because he had like a government job, getting paid. I don't know how much he was getting paid, but it was, I guess, a significant amount, for him to act like he can talk down on like fast food workers. Oh my goodness. This one time we in the drive through, he had this truck. Like, yeah, he had money. He did have money because he would buy me all this name brand kind of stuff that I was not like interested in. But he did, thank you, he did put me on. Oh, they cutting grass out here. He did put me on to Unforgivable Woman, and yes, that's by Sean John. Unforgivable Woman. That's like my favorite perfume, like the only one that I really wear. So he did put me onto that, and then like he gave me my first Coach, like my first name brand, whatever. Like he was, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So he did have some money to spend or whatever, and on himself and on the kids and on me, fine, appreciate that, but I still wasn't like that kind of a person to be like, ooh, let's spend this bag on me, whatever. No, nothing like that. He just did it, and I was just like, okay, cool, thank you. And he would, buy me like a $50 shirt, and I'm just like, you know how many shirts I can get for $50? He was like, yeah, but this is such and such name brand. What name brand was that? Oh my goodness, True Religion. Was it True Religion? It was something. I can't even think of the damn name. But it was some name brand thing, a shirt that he got me for one shirt, y'all. One freaking shirt for $50. And this is back in when I had AJ 3907. So you might as well say this was in '06. You might as well say this was in '06, 2006. He bought me a shirt, one shirt that cost $50. And I'm looking at him like, and the shirt was nice. The shirt was nice. I ain't gonna lie, the shirt was nice. But I'm looking at, how many shirts I could have got for 50 damn dollars. Like I could have went to Walmart and got like 6 shirts for $50, or at least 5 shirts, like $10 each. Like something can be on sale. Like you spent $50 on one shirt for me. What the fuck? But like that's how I was like, oh my goodness. But anyways, so just going back to the drive through thing. So I guess this nigga was thinking, oh, he the big boss, he the man, he rich or something. So we in his truck. He had like a Tucson Tahoe. Goodness. I'm picturing the word is a Tahoe. He had a Tahoe truck, right? It was like army greenish or whatever. So sits up high, it's a nice big truck or whatever. So we in a drive through. This nigga hooked the sound player up. I mean, it was, well, let me think. Was this the same day? Because one incident that I got so fucking disgusted by this nigga because and I think no, our son was getting babysitted with his cousin or something. So I don't even think Avon was in the back seat with us. I think Avon was over like his cousin's house or something. I think me and him, we had went out. Me and him, he had went out or whatever, and we was getting some food. or even probably was asleep in the back in the car seat. I don't know, but just one. I'm thinking of two. This is probably two different incidents, but it's one disgusting incident when he hooked up his PlayStation, not PlayStation. What was that? Like a DVD player to his surround sound, so you can watch the DVD player, and then the volume will come through the speakers. So why this nigga have porn playing in the car? So I'm in the passenger seat, he in the driver's side seat, and he got the screen flipped up so we can watch the thing. I didn't want to watch that shit, and if I did, I didn't want to watch it in public in a fucking truck with this nigga. I'm just like, nobody don't want to hear that. So this, yeah, I don't think Avon was not with us. Avon could not have been with us. So yeah, no, but I know I was like disgusted, and this nigga ain't even turn it down. Like he had the shit up, so you hear just like how this dog barking. That's how that females in his video was making all that damn noise. And I was just like, no, I don't want to hear that shit. But he thinking it's cool. And I just had to turn my head out the window. When we pulled up to that drive through window, the person opened it up, and then here go my baby daddy just smiling like, you. Like, and they told him the price, and he gave him the money or whatever, and he ain't turned that shit down. He ain't wind up his window, and the girl in the video, just moaning and yelling and screaming. So I kept my head out the passenger side, and I was just like, "You ain't gonna turn that shit." I even looked at him. I'm like, "You ain't gonna turn it down?" He was like, "No." I just turned my head and looked out the window because I'm like, nobody gonna see my damn face. I don't want this person that's drive the window to think I'm a part of this shit because I'm not. This nigga was just fucking disgusting. Like, why would you even keep that on blast and on loud? And this is like nighttime. Like, come on now. But anyways, that was an incident. Then I remember another incident. We went through the drive-through or whatever, and this time maybe Avon was in a car or something. I don't know. And I probably had both of our kids at the time, but this nigga, like I say, I guess he thought he was all big and bad and had money and the boss and all this shit or whatever. So he ordered something from the drive through, and then I guess the person couldn't hear him who was taking the order. That machine, not the machine, but the person was like, "Yeah, hey, can I help you? What would you like to get or whatever, whatever." So I guess he said what he had to say, but the person I guess didn't understand it. So that means Jonathan Lamont Neal had to repeat it. Like something had happened. Nigga, you know what I'm talking about. So like I said, all this stuff can get verified by him. I'm not making no shit up. So I guess he got frustrated or something, or the person in the drive-through taking the order said something, and then here go my baby daddy, Jonathan Lamont Neal. Oh, well, nigga, if you don't like your job, they ain't my fault. And something he said, like you the one working in the drive-through and fucking just say it was McDonald's, working in McDonald's or something, yada yada yada. Something he said, like disrespectful. So we got to the window to get the food. I ain't even really wanted to eat the food. So basically he said something to the person as if like downgrading him, like, shoot, you don't want what you making $6 an hour, like, shoot, like something he was saying in the sense of degrading him, this person that they working at a drive-through, something that was disrespectful, something like that, nigga, you know what I'm talking about. So and I was just like, what the heck? He was just like, well, shoot, the nigga should be getting mad at me because he working at a drive-through restaurant, whatever, nigga don't be getting mad at me. That's his fault for taking this job. Like something that he was saying. And I was just shaking my head like, man. And then right then and there, I could have, I could have spoke, or I could have thought something that make my baby daddy lose his job. Like I could have put that in the atmosphere, but I was like, I'm not going to say that, because I'm like, he's like supporting, our son, I ain't really thinking about me, but I'm just like, okay, if this nigga do lose his job or whatever because I thought it or I put that on him, then it's going to be like a struggle of taking care of our kids. So, but well, I probably was, like I said, pregnant at the time. It was just like, hey, let me not think nothing like that. But I was just like, this nigga is so fucking like rude, disrespectful, inconsiderate. Like, nah. Like I said, I seen all that shit when I was pregnant with AJ. I'm like, I can't. I first of all, I didn't even want to be with him, and I'm damn sure know that I'm not going to be with him. So anyways, but then of course, he proposed to me a couple of more times and I said no. And then I believe the last time, it was like on Christmas Day, and And then so I said no, and he was like, "Well, what? Why are we together for, or something?" And I was just like, "Exactly. Why are we together? I told you that I ain't want to be with you." And mind you, throughout this time, we're not even really being intimate. We're not having sex. Now, did he want to have sex with me? Absolutely. This nigga would be begging me. Oh, well, oh, and I'd be like, "Oh, no, not today, not today, not today. Oh, got a headache, not today." He'd be like, "Well, how about Tuesday? Today is Friday. How about next week on Tuesday?" Like he be like trying to have days, and like in my mind, I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, I don't. This nigga don't please me. Like there been times where, I mean, a couple of different people that I done been with, that I will be crying because I don't want to have sex with them, but I'm like, these niggas keep asking me and asking me and asking me. So I'm like, let me just give in and have sex with this nigga so he can stop asking me. And I know this shit, whatever we do, is just be like no more than 5 minutes. So Demetria, you can deal with 5 minutes of this shit. Go ahead and do it. But I just be fucking crying. Like that's it, like I said, it's not just with him. It's been with different guys that I just be fucking crying because I don't want to have sex with y'all. But y'all keep fucking asking me and be like, oh. So believe me, I don't experience all that shit. I experience all that shit. I'm like, how y'all niggas be proud of yourselves knowing that y'all having sex with a girl who don't even want to have sex with you, who's telling you I don't want to have sex with you, and you like, come on, come on, come on, and then she just give in, and then y'all just okay with that because y'all got y'all nut. Like, how do you feel afterwards? Like, niggas, how do y'all feel afterwards? Because I never asked them, like, how do you feel? Did I make you feel like a man? Did you got your nut on? Do you feel better? Like, did you accomplish something? I don't be asking them that, but I'm curious. Like how do y'all feel more like a man? Like, oh yeah, she gave in. She had sex with me. Yeah, she was crying a little bit, but hey, I've got my nut on. Yeah, I'm the man. Like I don't know. That shit's weird, but yeah, but me and him, this nigga, we wasn't having sex. We wasn't having sex. Like I said, he would um like I said, ask me. He would plan, for sex. He would be like, all right, my birthday coming up. Hey, it's been about 2 weeks and yada yada, So I'm just like, oh goodness. So I'm like, and I wasn't crying all the time we had sex. I ain't gonna say I was crying every time. I held back some tears plenty of time, but it has been a few times that I was crying, like, silently but loudly, if you know what I mean. Like he heard my crying, but I'm just like, and those were the times when I'm like facing away from him, a position that I'm facing away from him, and I'm looking at the wall, and he's, facing me, but my back is to him, so he doing whatever, and I'm just like fucking crying, like, oh my goodness, oh, young. And then I ain't really feeling too much of shit. Like I told him about everything. Like I told this nigga the truth about his size, about me not feeling shit. So like most of the time, if I ain't gonna say most of the time, but it was a majority of the time that we did do. Like, I'm not even gonna get into that subject. I'm not gonna get into that subject. We almost at an hour and 20 minutes. But how did I get on this topic anyway? What? I got my paper here. What is this? I was on the movie Inside Out, and now I got what? I started talking about the school where Riley, how she started to cry when she was remembering like her Minnesota days and stuff like that when she moved to San Francisco. I don't know how did I get from the movie Inside Out to where I'm at now. But let me bring it back around because I don't want to end it. I do not want to end it talking about that. So let me bring it back to Inside Out movie. Okay, so basically, and then I'm gonna finish this, but this is gonna be a whole nother video because I ain't that was just one part of my notes on my paper. But basically, yeah, when Riley started crying, when she was introducing herself and she was remembering all the good times she had in Minnesota, this and that, and then sadness touched one of her core memories, and then she just started crying and became sad, and like basically her feelings got switched just like that. So, excuse me. So that's how I'm like, wow. And oh yeah, that's how I started because I started getting emotional when I was like my feelings switched when I'm thinking about my children. Yeah, so when I'm thinking about all the good times and stuff like that with my children that we done had, and then when I started thinking about like the current or just 2018, how they all got split apart, and then I'm just like, get emotional and get crying just like that because I'm like, I'm thinking about the goodness, but then I'm like, damn, we done missed plenty of years apart because of some bullshit ass niggas done lied. So yeah, I would get sad and get emotional and stuff like that and get upset and get angry at these motherfuckers because of that. So, but yeah, there's going to be another part, obviously. But yeah. Oh my goodness, Demetra. But all right, I guess I'm gonna just end it here. But what time is it? 107. Yeah. All right, I'll come back on a little later and hopefully see can I finish up these notes and then see can I stay see can I stay on topic because woo goodness, I got like three different well, one, two, three, four, five, like six different more notes that I took down and I only this video would just touch bases on one. So I ain't trying to do like 6 or 7 more videos about Inside Out movie. But basically, yeah, it's about feelings, embracing your feelings, and it's okay to accept sadness, hurt, pain, anger. It's okay because everything is working together to balance out or to have you cope with life. So that's what gotta do. That's what I'm learning to do. And I have to really accept all the hurt. Like I can't ignore it anymore. I have to stop ignoring it. I have to embrace it so it can be released from me is for some more healthy feelings can grow inside. But if all this negativity and like anger and stuff like that is like still inside of me and it's like ready to burst, it's like let it go. Let it out, release it because some shit that's all the goodness is still it's already growing in me like that seed of goodness the the goodness that I see the visions and everything is already inside of me but it's like damn when can we sprout up when can we get up because we still being pressured what's that pressure cooker the goodness is still being pressure cooker is being held back but it's there but it's being held back because there's no room with all this hurt and anger and sadness and embarrassment still inside, if that makes sense. So yeah, so part 2 coming up soon. Alrighty. Bye.